Hello, we're just getting started here. Just a few more minutes until 10 o'clock. So I'm going to get the other streams going, and then we'll go live. Okay, we're just a couple more minutes from the official start time, so I'm just going to wait for that for anybody else to join in, and then we'll get going. So. Well, it is now 10 o'clock, so I'm going to start these two streams out by going. So on LinkedIn, if you want to ask a question, you have to hit the raise hand. Twitter, I'm not sure exactly how you do it because I haven't been on the other side of it, but hopefully if you want to ask a question, you can figure out how to do that. And on YouTube, where I am right now, you just have to be able to put them in the chat. So to begin with, the OFCAF funding is on-farm climate action funding. It's something that is being rolled out across all of Canada. It's a federal funding, but it's many different organizations are the ones that are actually implementing the funding. And so that's why it can get confusing because there's many different groups that run it. Now, in Alberta, there's a few groups that do have some more niche areas that they follow, more in the organic side of things. But the main one is the OFCAF through ARDAR, which is the results-driven agriculture research. That they're delivering the main portion of it, and so that's the one that we're mainly talking about now because there is a deadline coming up, which is November 7th. And that is to get your applications in for this, anything that was done in the crop year of 2022. Any invoices have to be after April 1st of 2022. But as far as I understand it, the invoices can happen right up until the deadline for putting invoices in, which is January 7th. And so you can be working on things now, but the most important thing is you have to get that application in, because if you don't have the application in, you can't ask for money later. And another important part about the applications is it's always better to apply for as much as you think you might have done and then submit invoices and go back, because you'll only be paid for what you actually um, what was actually done. So if you're not sure how much you're going to get done or you're not sure the prices, then just put in the maximum for the program so that you have the funding approved before you can before you submit. So it's make the application, wait for approval, get the approval, then submit invoices. So that's the process for 2023. There's a lot more time to make the plans and get the applications in starting in February of 2023. But the risk for 2023, and I think is again, it's going to be important to get them in early, is that they only have a set number of amount of funding. So if it is a popular program and the money is used up, then it's used up. So even if you are approved, I'm not entirely sure on this, but I think as long even if you are approved, if you don't get your invoices in, you still may find that you're out of money. But that's something I'm not sure on. So, so if there's is there anybody that has any questions right now that hasn't put up a hand or hasn't did anything so far? Okay. I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna look and see if there are any questions in the comments of anything, just to be sure before I continue on. No, I don't see any right now. Okay. So let's go through some of the main points in it. There's the three main parts of it are nitrogen management, cover cropping, and rotational grazing. Now, the rotational grazing, I don't get into that too much because it's out of the scope of my practice. I'm more on the crops and soil side, and I'm not much into the animal side. And that's just a professional designation or a professional boundary that I have. My expertise is not in that, so I'm not going to be filling out um, programs on that. But I do know other people that know it very well, and I can refer you on to them, or we can work together if we're putting in an application for everything else. And so, so the rotational grazing, the main thing in it is that it's the only one that actually helps you buy infrastructure. So you can get things like internal fencing to help you do adaptive multi-paddock grazing, and you can help with watering systems on that. And there's a few other testing things that you can do with that and and improving your pasture. The cover cropping one is fairly straightforward. It's for seed and for custom planting, which means that you have to buy the seed and you have to have somebody plant it if you want to be reimbursed for the actual planting. However, so this means that if you have your own farm run seed and you're just going to plant it yourself, then it's not eligible, unfortunately. That one is fairly straightforward. It has to be a new practice on the field, but otherwise, pretty well everything is covered. Nitrogen is a little trickier. There's soil testing and mapping, which is fairly straightforward. Again, it has to be new, or at least it has to be going beyond your normal, doing a better job at things. So, and so you have to be doing something beyond the normal for that one. Now, when it comes to there's nitrogen stabilizers is another part of it. So this is the ones that are going to help hold in or prevent some of the losses. That's there. And if you're spreading manure or compost, you can get the cost of the trucking or the applying brought or covered, but not the actual cost of the nutrient or of the product. And it has to be something that hasn't been done in for 10 years. And there's one obscure thing in the nitrogen management one is increasing perennial legumes in a rotation. And which to me seems very similar to in the grazing side, but it is in there where you can help get some of the costs covered for establishing some perennial legumes in your cropping system. So that's the highlights of the program. And I guess the part of the main reason why I'm talking about it so much here is that you do need a PAG, which is a professional agrologist, or a certified crop advisor on the application. And that is something that I have both of the designations actually. The other thing is for myself, I have been in the regenerative agriculture sphere and even in the organic crop production sphere myself. So I'm very well attuned to how to make this work. So I know how cover cropping, I know the nitrogen strategies. And again, the grazing is out of my scope, but it's something that I can help you find the people that can help you with that. So so if you need help on this, I have a program, or I have a very easy way of doing it. It's on my website called plantsdigsoil.com, and just go through the pricing and then paperwork, and it's $500 and I'll help you put the application together and support you in it. And part of that, well, what the point of that is that within the funding, there is the ability to add in the costs of professional help in implementing these. And they actually strongly suggested that should be a part of the applications because they don't want people just doing these things. They want the support to make it work. And with that being included in the application, then that that money that you would pay to me for doing the application and supporting you actually can be returned to you through the funding, or it's eligible for the funding, so that cost can be covered through the program. So I'm not seeing any questions. Are there any questions? If so, then you can try to get my attention. I'm still just learning this technology and streaming and Twitter Spaces and LinkedIn Spaces or LinkedIn audio. I don't see anything showing up, but I'm going to take another quick look. It doesn't appear. Oh, I do see one question on the notifications from Twitter. So the question is about regular soil testing. Is it covered by it? And this is where it gets. This is where if you've been regularly soil testing, then it doesn't count. But if you have not soil tested in the past, or at least recently, then then it is covered. Same thing with any of the things. If you've cover cropped before on that particular piece of land, then you're not eligible. So it's only for new practices. Yeah, so then the question was about some new land that hasn't been soil tested. And so if it hasn't been regularly soil tested, then that is something that would be eligible in the program. So okay. I hope that answers the question. And I'm not seeing anything else. Give it maybe another 30 seconds to ask questions if there are. And if not, then we'll end. You can always put comments on it. I should find it and be able to answer it another answer later in the day. But I think that I don't think there's any other related to the stream, so I think I'm going to end it now. But if you have any other questions, you can always, as I said, put a comment in here or send me a direct message on the platform, or go to my website and send me an email through the contact. It's plantstigsoil.com. We'll get you we'll find you, point you in the direction of everything. So thanks again, and we will I'll do this again next week. Thanks.